Hello, my lovely listeners. Good to see you again, or for the first time if you're just new to my channel. I'm Kate Luce, the Everyday Intuitive, and today I want to talk to you a little bit about. I think people have a lot of concerns and questions about how do I recognize when what I'm bringing through, or what I'm hearing, or what I'm sensing, or what I'm seeing is intuition. And how does it come through? And what can you tell me about that? Well, I have a lot to say about it. And I'm going to bring you today something that I wrote somewhat recently about how it comes in and what is important to remember when you think you might be receiving intuition, because it doesn't always come in the way we think it will. And sometimes we can give up before we even, allow it through. So I'm going to read you from my journal. This is channeled. And this is what my guides wanted to say to me on this particular day. Because I still get advice about this, okay? So if you're new to, listening to your intuition, and you think you should know everything, you shouldn't. It's a lifelong thing. So here's what they had to say to me. Spurts, dribs and drabs. These are part of the warm-up process to get the stream of information moving through you. Think of it as a sputtering faucet, which happens when the faucet hasn't been used for a while, or when the water hasn't been flowing and is finally pushed to the surface. I don't know if you have we have an outdoor faucet that we only use during the winter, the summer months, and turn it off during the winter. So when you turn it on for the first time, the water kind of comes like, psh, 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 and you think, oh God, is it going to work? And then finally, once it gets going, it flows. So think of it that way. This is what often happens with intuition. But it will help the flow if you just give voice to whatever tidbits arise, even if you don't understand what they mean. This is a very important point. So I don't know what that means. It must be nonsense or gobbledygook. Don't fall in that trap. Just say, okay, this is what's coming through. I'm just going to listen to it. I don't know what it means, but let's see where it goes. Just write or speak them, and in doing so, the flow will open up and you can speak, write, or hear more fluently and coherently. Coherence is not always necessary, though. If something doesn't seem coherent to you, do not dismiss it, just what we were saying. It may be a very important message that will become clearer. Because you don't understand it does not make it ununderstandable. You may be bringing forth the unique information that needs to be heard, so do not discount anything. Chances are you will find the meaning in it later, but only if you give voice to it now. An important lesson in channeling to remember. Very important. So if something is coming through and you don't understand it, just say it or write it. And be patient, because sometimes it will take you a while to understand what it means. So I'm going to give you an example of this. This happened to me very recently. I'm sitting down to just try to channel something, and with writing. And this is what comes to me. Teddy Roosevelt. Okay. So I don't know about you, but I didn't consider that, some wonderful message from the divine. I was like, what the heck does this mean? But I stayed with it, and I asked questions, and I heard some more things. I heard bully, bully, because the caricatures of Teddy Roosevelt were always saying bully, bully, because they used to talk about his bully pulpit. Teddy Roosevelt, he was the president way back in the early part of the 20th century, the beginning of the 1900s. And he also had another expression which came to me, which is talk softly but carry a big stick. And I'm listening to bully, bully, talk softly and carry a big stick. And in my mind, I'm going, What does this have to do with what I'm asking about? And how is this spiritual? But I kept asking questions in my mind. And this is what came. It was um, walk softly and carry a big stick was a reminder that it's important to be kind to people, but also to have boundaries. So talk softly and carry a big stick. And if I just said walk softly, it's because I kept getting that mixed up, but it's talk softly, be kind, but carry a big stick. Remember to put boundaries in place. So this is a message that I need to hear over and over and over again, and it was coming through. And when I didn't discount what was coming through and I asked questions for clarification, I got something that was really valuable to me. And then I kept saying, well, is there something else here? Because it didn't seem like enough to me. And so they said, yes. Well, Teddy Roosevelt was the person who started the national park system, the person who preserved all that beautiful open space that we still had back in the early 1900s. And he was an advocate for the environment, the natural environment, and time outdoors. He was a very robust person, and he loved being out in nature. And so he wanted to preserve it for all Americans. What a wonderful thing. And so that came to me. And then the other thing that came to me was that he actually did not start out to be a robust person. This is part of his story, his biography, is that as a child he was very sickly. He had terrible asthma, and he had trouble being out and being active, and he overcame it because he wanted to. He started working out, I think, in his teens, and he became quite robust, and he was known for his outdoorsmanship. And so another thing that spoke to me, as I have in my past and present have really had to wrestle with some very serious health issues, and had to kind of take things into my own hands in order to remain healthy and robust. So there were so many connections, but if I had heard Teddy Roosevelt and went, oh, this doesn't mean anything to me, I would have lost it all. So my advice to you is to listen. If you hear something and it doesn't make sense to you, don't discount it or say, I don't know what I'm doing. This stuff doesn't work, because it does. And if you give it time and if you give it consideration, you might not immediately know what it means, but if you write it down, if you hear it and you write it down, then later on, as you read it back, maybe 2 or 3 weeks or 2 or 3 months from now, you might go, oh, that's what they were trying to tell me. They were trying to prime me for this. So give yourself a break. Listen to what guidance comes through. And as you do this more and more and more, you're going to open that faucet so it'll be flowing, and you can receive guidance, which will help you make decisions in your life, will help you with counsel and advice, will help you feel like you're not alone, will help you to make choices in your life that are going to benefit you. So that's my story. I hope that will help you. And I forgot to say at the beginning, this is Kate Luce, the Everyday Intuitive. I want to encourage you to work on and develop your intuition so that your life can work better. So thank you. I'll see you again, and off we go.